I just really want to focus on something that I call the human element. And 2017, when Dennis and I and some others and also the students were organizing this camp and we were advertising it, I came across this quote: "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world." And the interesting thing is, I had never heard of global citizenship education at this point, but I really thought there was so much in this quote, and that's what I took. And so now, if let's say that this is true, right? So maybe you say, well, yeah, I don't even know if that's really true. It sounds nice, but is it true? Well, let's then ask ourselves the question: well, what would this small group of people need to change the world? What are they going to need to know? Which abilities, which motivation, attitude, values? These are things that Kerstin was always also mentioning in order to be able to do this. And that is global citizenship education. It's that which they need in order to be able to do this. And I think the word world can be extremely scary for some people, and it becomes, too big. It's like, yeah, but I don't want to have to go out into the world and change it. And I'd like to quote Mother Teresa, and she said, "If you want to change the world, go home and love your family." And I heard something along the lines of, if you want to change the world, start with yourself. And when we think about these circles that we saw in Kerstin's presentation, that's the beginning. That can be your world, and that's where a lot of this starts. So when we're talking about changing the world, if we understand that every single system, ourselves as a system, family unit as a system, every system is connected with each other. And so if we positively change a system, and even if it's our own family, then we are going to be positively changing other systems as well. I'm going to talk a little bit about Otto Schama. He's a senior lecturer at MIT and the co-founder of the Presencing Institute. And he's basically dealt with transformative systemic change. So really kind of focusing on, how do we change systems out there, from individual systems to larger systems, the education system, etc. And so when asking the question then, so first of all, where are we now? I'll just start differently. I'll start with this first quote of his. And he says his observation is that we are collectively creating results that almost nobody wants. So when you think about it, many of the problems we have today, nobody actually wants this. We would love for everything to be wonderful: healthy planet, healthy society, healthy people. A very, very, very few people wish that to be a different way, but somehow we're creating these results, even though that's not necessarily what we want. And it's led, and you can divide it into different ways. He talks about a loss of nature, a loss of society, and a loss of self, and speaking about them as divides. And then he asks himself the question, where are we right now? What does he observe? What's in his opinion? And he says, we live in a moment of profound possibility and disruption. What is dying and disintegrating is a world of me first, bigger and better, special interest group driven decision making, competition as it's maybe being, the way forward. And that's when we're talking about transformative education, then I think it's important that we kind of make the shift, that we go to the root, that we don't just start talking, just only talk about like knowledge and skills and many of the things we're used to in school, that we are also courageous enough to dig deeper and really kind of start thinking about some of these mindsets in our society, not just our own, but in our society, and think about how can these be transformed? How can these be changed? So these divides that I was talking about with nature, society, and self, he refers to them as the ecological, social, and spiritual divide. And he says that these are just symptoms. So, I mean, we can go at them, we can start working on them right away, but these are systems of things that are much deeper. And for instance, structures. And a lot of the structures we can so sometimes even like we have issues of racism and inequality right now, and where we're talking about these things now on a structural level, things that we haven't necessarily done. We've been very topical about that, and now we're really starting to deal with them on a structural level. When we think about the 17 goals for sustainable development, these goals are really challenging us, but also motivating us to look at problems at a structural level. But Sharma would also say we need to go deeper. We need to think about kind of the level of thoughts. And this is when if we look at education, for instance, then we have some different paradigms of thought, where we've for hundreds of years, we have become more analytical and really breaking down large systems into little systems and little and subsystems and focusing on all of these small things, cause and effect. And in the last few decades, a lot of people have started to say, whoa, stop. We can see this whole system. We need to take a step back, and we need to start understanding systems on a much, much larger level. And these different thoughts, like in our education system, that we're breaking things down into subjects, very specific subjects, and we're talking about very specific content and competences, and our entire school system, university system, upper education, it's very much based on this analytical way of thinking, and that's gone on for hundreds of years. And it's very difficult, of course, to kind of break through this mindset that we need this knowledge in all of these different subjects in order to be successful. And we're starting to question that. What does success really mean? And now we can start thinking about the word like well-being as well. And then Sharma, he says, well, then below this thought, there must be some other source as well. And in my opinion, then, when we look at this source and ask ourselves, what is that? This is something that, and especially in referring now to global citizenship education, then I refer to this as the human element. And this is something that not a single person can ever really have. These are the relationships between humans. And I was so happy to see that. Like I said, me and Kerstin, we didn't even talk about this. And in her slide, she had this huge slide talking about these healthy relationships. And that's that's what transformative education is also about. Those are the foundations. For everything else above that are these really positive, healthy relationships. And I'd like to show you a short video now that depicts exactly what I'm talking about. And it's about 3 students that were at our last camp in 2019. And I asked them 3 questions and just interviewed them. And and this is what we have. So enjoy this little 5-minute video, and then we'll continue from there.
I'm Eric, and I was in the RO 2019 camp.
Hi, I'm Leo, and I was a participant of the Baltic Sea Conference camp 2 years ago.
My name is Frederick, and I attended the camp back in September of 2019.
It was cool. It was great. And I honestly wish I could talk about it with these people that are going to see this video face to face.
And I've been asked to talk about the most memorable experiences I had, which must have been the first night we had a campfire and we just sat up.
I think the most meaningful moment of the camp was probably the first night. I remember we were sitting around like a big campfire. Nick asked us what has impacted our life this far, or has really impacted our life, the most impactful moment of our life so far. And I remember just everyone being really calm and opening up, just being themselves.
Talking about how we were doing and who we were, and just had a great time. And then we made the campfire because it was such a great night. We made it last all week. So we would stay up all night, almost every night, taking shifts and just keep it going, which was...
It was just really nice to be yourself in front of others and realize that even the grumpy-looking Estonian guy was a real nice guy at heart.
I met some people at that camp that I still talk to. I think meeting them, both individually and as a group, really was huge. What was special about the camp? Oh wow, where do I begin? I think to me, what was really special about the camp were the people there.
I myself think that the most interesting part about the camp were the people that were there, and I think that's what made it incredibly special, because you got to know everyone on a really deep and personal level.
Just like this really mixed group of people with different perspectives and stories and just ideas.
You were just mixed together with Latvians, with Germans, with Swedish people, Finnish people, and everyone was just talking English, and everyone was really open, and they all just wanted to get to know one another, and it was really nice.
That's what really makes camps, these international camps, so special, that you get to see all of these different views and perspectives and everything.
The last question I got was, what has changed, or like how has my life changed up until now because of this camp? And I really think that I've gotten to know myself on a much deeper level, and I've become a lot more confident. I don't really care too much about what others think, because they're just people as well. They're just like me, and everyone is really accepting if you're just yourself.
The first thing I took away was an amazing group of friends that I still talk to, all from different countries. Danish guy, Finnish, Polish.
I've also, on top of that, met amazing people. I still regularly talk to, and actually have also met privately apart from the camp. And I hold them really dear. And I think they really made the experience of the BSP conference really special.
And it's crazy. It really is. I never thought that you could take that much away from you from just a camp.
Because of that, I have just made some friends that I'll consider friends for life. And we still talk, even though they live in Sweden and Germany and Poland and Finland and Estonia or whatever, and I live here in Denmark.
What I do know is that the people you meet there, you can do amazing things with.
Because everyone also had that small connection of, hey, we are a part of the Baltic Sea countries, where the Baltic Sea connects all of us.
Learn, hang out, have fun. It's amazing. It's cool. It's worth it. Do it. Go. Have fun. Don't watch more videos. Go do it already. Have some great times and make some memories.
The camp is, of course, about the learning stuff, but it's also about making new friends and having a great time. So keep that in mind.
I would do it again if I could. I would do it in a heartbeat. And that's all for me. Thanks for listening.
And that's all for me.
So that's, I guess I couldn't say it better than they said it. Just with those words, they could have said anything. It was one entire week of being at this camp, and that's what they took away. It was the relationships. It was these new people. It was that feeling that, those people I met and the relationships we formed, they're going to be there forever, and I could do anything with these people. And some of these relationships were formed on a single night around that campfire. And that was something I wasn't aware of for a very long time. I've been planning these camps even before the international camps. I've been planning other camps for maybe the last 10 or 11 years. I wanted to organize things well. I didn't want things to go wrong. I wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted good workshops. I wanted really good important content during the workshops. I wanted students to learn a lot. I wanted teachers to know how they could grade the students. These are the things I was concerned about. And it's, I'm inside of a school system that kind of, puts pressure on me to do these things. But at the same time, I know that there are much, much more important things. And I would encourage any of you that are here to just, keep that in your mind, in your heart. Just, we feel that there's more important things, and we still sometimes lose a grasp on that. So better relationships, it's one of these things. Sounds great, better relationships, but what does it lead to? And again, I'm kind of taking some of this from Otto Scharmer and thinking about, what does that actually lead to? And he says that better relationships lead to a higher quality of listening. And this goes much, it's not just what we're hearing inside of our ears. It's really, how we're listening to other people, ourselves, society, everything around us. And most of the day, we walk through the day just downloading. We're just reconfirming our worldview. It's we're judging things where we're saying, what's right and wrong. As teachers, we get used to that. Always, we're listening. We're only listening for right answers. We're not even open to learning a lot of the times. We're thinking about grades. And that second level is that factual listening. And even this is already, as an adult, if you're open to learn in every situation, in every situation that you're talking with somebody, also with your students, opening to learn from one another, then it's already at least this second level of listening. And something that I don't know, it's one of these like empathy. Some people just say, oh, I'm not an empathetic person. I can't do that. And that's how I was as well. And I was just like, I blocked like my entire road. So if you say you're not an empathetic person, you're not able to see through another person's eyes and really feel what they're feeling, and open yourself up to, their world, not your own world, their world. And that's empathetic listening. And it's gonna lead to trust. It's gonna lead to vulnerability. And it's gonna lead to, some kind of love as well. And that's gonna enable you to just basically take any next step. It's a very different level of understanding. And again, we're talking about, a transformation of mindsets. We're talking about, a group of people that, could potentially change this world. And that's a requirement, this deep level of listening. And the last form, he says, the generative listening. That's when we really are just open. We open our will. So it's not, I'm going to do this. That's my plan. That's where I'm going. We all have a plan, right? Or most of us have a plan. Our parents help us with those plans, our partners, etc. Everybody, society helps us with that plan. But what if we just kind of were able to, throw that plan out the window and just be open for the next step that needs to be taken towards, a more positive future for ourselves and a more positive collective future. And that would be the way. Create this common vision, co-create this common vision, and then and close these divides that we're experiencing right now. But starting at the source, starting at the mindset level, at the attitude, at the value level, at the identity level, and then moving along. So Scharmer says that the question, I never answered that. So where are we headed? And he said, well, it's less clear, but it has to do with shifting our consciousness from an ego system to an ecosystem awareness. So just being aware, okay? Me, that's extremely important. My well-being is important, and that of others in our society. But our awareness is larger, and that's on a societal level, on a global level as well. And this awareness attends to the well-being of all. And so again, where have we heard this? This is where we have the compass that Kerstin was talking about from the OECD. That's what we're talking about here. The UNESCO would refer to transformative education that enables learners to contribute to a more inclusive, peaceful, and just world. And that's also global citizenship education. And I'm pretty convinced that a lot of us can feel into it sometimes better than we can put it into words. We don't always have a definition for it, but we are feeling that. And so I would encourage you to be open to that, be open to feeling into it, and be open, to building new relationships. It's going to be a challenge at this camp. It's not the same. I saw in one of the questions, somebody said, hey, is there going to be a campfire? Well, you just saw it on the slides, the video, right? I tried to put a little campfire there to create a little campfire feeling. And you see us, sitting in a circle around the campfire that we had the night before here on this picture. So no, we won't have that real campfire, but they're extremely important. And then those camps and coming together is extremely important. And a lot of us are missing that. And we're going to make the best out of it. That's has a lot to do with mindset and attitude. And hopefully you'll all be able to take something out of this camp, something that's positive for you. The first thing could be that it's supposed to be between like 2 and 8 degrees Celsius on this island the whole week. It's supposed to rain 4 or 5 of those days. It would have been the worst weather that we've had in the history of this camp. So maybe we'll take that, start on that focus, that positive thing, that we're in kind of a warm and cozy home. But still, we don't necessarily want to be sitting in front of our computer. Some of us are fine with that. You enjoy these talks. You'll enjoy some of the workshops and the live streams. Some of you will take part in workshops where you'll really be able to engage with people, and you want to speak English, you want to get to know other people. Do it. Go to those workshops where you have that feeling. You'll be able to engage with others. And other workshops are going to send you on the BioBlitz, send you outside into nature. And we're missing a lot of that right now. We're missing those reasons. Somebody to that healthy kick in the butt. Like get out and do something outside. Some of us need that, and that feels good. So that's why we're trying to make different offers for you during this week. So, and in the end, of course, back to this quote. When I picked it out, it was only because it sounded good. I was advertising for a camp, and now I completely believe in this, more than ever before. And I definitely, there's, some of you are definitely going to be these citizens, and you are going to make changes to your world, and that's going to be on very, very different levels. So go ahead and take that with you.